Hey guys, it's Russell again. We are having a fantastic conversation today with Michelle, one of the moderators in Sidekick Traders, and it's Sidekick, not Psychic, as everybody seems to think. We're also joined by the also joined by the co-founder of Sidekick Traders, Marian. So we're going to have a chat with both of them, especially Michelle today, and see if we can learn a bit more about her awesome trading strategy that she's been sharing with the Discord for probably 6 months now, right? About that.
January or something, I think.
January,
Something like
yeah,
that.
so a few
December, I don't
months.
know.
Yeah, so it's awesome that you joined us in Sidekick and we're enjoying your trades and looking through them. But I was hoping that we could go into a bit more detail about some of the different trades, but also about how you started trading. I think we met like probably last year, middle of last year, or something in the Facebook group.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you came from one of the articles I'd written about Raging Bull, because that's kind of where you started as well, right?
It is. Yeah, I don't remember exactly which video or what article it was that got me over to one of your videos.
Yeah.
But I'm positive it had something to do with Raging Bull, because
Yeah.
that's where I learned a lot of what I do now is from them.
And you're an elite member, right? You joined the elite last year or something.
I did. So I started off back in, I think probably 2016 or 2017 with just Jason Bond picks.
Yeah.
And kind of like everybody else that got in with Raging Bull, it's like, oh, now we've got this service and we've got this service and we've got this service. And I was like, oh, yes, show me the money, show me the money. So I started joining them all. And then after a while, I was like, this makes no sense. You've got like $20,000 of my funds. So let's just do the elite.
Yeah.
And I did Lifetime Elite.
But Michelle, you didn't start trading then, right? Because don't you have like your Series 7 and a bunch of other stuff? Like, were you already trading and then were using Raging Bull for ideas, or am I understanding wrong?
So I was employed at a brokerage firm. I did have my Series 7 and Series 63, but the firm that I worked with was very strict on what I could do. I couldn't take any bearish positions. I couldn't trade more than, I think it was 60 trades per quarter. And think about it. If you're getting in one options trade and then you have to sell out of it, that's 2 trades. That's how they counted it. So I was extremely limited on what I could do. But yeah, like you had said, Marian, I was using Raging Bull for ideas because I was.
So you already had an idea, like how to trade, in other words?
I did. So I was trained on like options and spreads and all of that kind of stuff and your wash sales. Okay. But it wasn't something that I actually practiced a whole lot because of the role that I was at the brokerage firm.
Okay.
I wasn't hands-on like dealing with trading every day. I was more with their transfer of asset department. So,
bringing. Okay, I was just thinking because like for me, Raging Bull was like right when I started, and trading, like it was all completely new to me. So I don't think it wasn't new to you like it was to me. You had an idea,
right?
At least what to do with their idea. So you weren't just blindly.
Yeah, I knew like what writing a call meant. I knew all that. And I knew like what my risk was if I sold a call versus writing or buying a call. And
like your style education and getting better.
Exactly.
Came from their education. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. That makes all the difference, right? Where you join one of these services, but you already knew like how to do these different trades, and you weren't just solely relying on somebody like Nate Bear. You were using his ideas and then managing the trade by yourself or adapting it for you. So
right. So like with Nate, I mean, I knew buying a call, selling a call, I knew all of that. I just didn't know, how do I know what contract I want to get into? How do I know that this one's going to be profitable for me? So I was looking for them to kind of guide me on the strategies to make some money.
Yeah. Yeah. And that worked out pretty well for you, right? It sounds like you quit your job last summer or something after trading with Nate for a while and getting dialed in with all this stuff.
Yeah, Nate was absolutely my favorite. I love his TPS strategy, and I like the way he had back when he had Thinkorswim. I liked his setup there because I think he got like, I don't know what all happened, but he had to leave and he went to TradeStation.
Yeah.
But Nate was definitely the one I followed the most and was definitely most profitable with him.
Yeah.
You're right. I did. I quit my job in August of 2020
Your
and
nursing job or with Fidelity?
with Fidelity. Yeah, nursing I was done with, God, 2015, I think, is when I started at Fidelity. So I would have stopped my nursing in 2014.
You're like a Jill of all trades, like pun
I know.
intended.
Yeah, got that
Trades.
military background. And that's why when I started at
Nursing,
Fidelity, they're like,
finances.
you don't really know finance, do you? And I was like, nope.
But
I was like, but I can do it. And they're like, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Cause I mean, I was able to get a master, I got my MBA and I got a master's in project management all while I was active duty in the military. So I knew I could figure out finance. I just had to have somebody kind of guide me on where to go.
yeah, just somewhere to start.
And I did well at Fidelity. I didn't see the point in staying there and working for somebody else when I was making more money trading and I could sit at home and do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I quit.
You're like
Yay.
the total success story that nobody believes actually exists, right? Where you learn
I
from one
know.
of these gurus and then you start doing, you actually learn their strategy and start doing it successfully without their guidance. Like nobody really like believes that that's possible. Where it's completely possible and you're living proof. And you've
Oh,
done just so
absolute profit.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Raging Bull back before the lawsuit and
Yeah.
all that stuff started with them. I'm still kind of getting used to how they are now. Like I
Yeah.
like my alerts. I get
Yeah.
the education and I totally understand where they're going from with that, but I miss
Yeah.
the alerts and I miss Nate.
Yeah. I know it's
His
frustrating.
voice was so calming and he could just
Yeah.
he never like got worked up about a trade. He's like, oh, this one doesn't work. Let's just cut it. I
Yep.
mean, he had no emotions for it. So I
Your
definitely
Nate's my Kyle.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So hopefully Nate will start another service at some point, but I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. It seems like he's just been so burned by this whole lawsuit thing that seems like he's just kind of chilling for a while. But hopefully he'll be back at some point.
I know Jason was saying he really does hope that they can talk Nate into coming back. Because
Yeah.
in Jason's room, it's him and Bart basically running it.
Yeah.
And Jason was saying that he really does want Nate to come back, but he's got to respect Nate's decision to put his family first.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so you started, it sounds like you had a basic, good understanding of trading, and then you joined Nate and all these different Jason Bond stuff, and then you went full time, and then it's just been since about Christmas time since the lawsuit happened that you've been trading completely by yourself in terms of you're not in, like Raging Bull wasn't sending any alerts, but I know like we all look for ideas from other people. Like
Oh yeah.
everybody trades the same thing in this game, right? It's like if you're in
Yeah.
more than one or two rooms or discards, everybody's trading everything, the same things every day, the biggest gainers or the pre-market gainers and things like. So do you have anywhere that you go to find ideas? Now that Raging Bull kind of sucks.
So I did get a couple of different like discords that I'm in. I went into, I think it's StockGeeks with Marion.
Oh, you're in there. Okay, cool.
I am in there.
Yeah.
However, I am not successful trading small caps. I cannot trade stocks for the life of me. I guess I hold on to that
Especially
hope.
now, though,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
you were
I
doing
think I
good in
need
the
your-
fall.
I wasn't doing too bad in the fall, but I think I need
Yeah.
Russell's course, how to not blow up an account, because I blew up my Webull account in like 3 weeks.
Well, I've heard that course is a scam, so I don't know if you want to buy it.
I
or not.
know.
It's a scam.
Dun,
so-
dun, dun.
It's my own fault, and I know what not to do, but like I've told people in my chat and in my alerts, don't follow me for risk management, because I am horrible at it and I know I have to work on it. I am
Yeah.
pretty darn good about finding a good setup, but I'm not good at following my rules on getting out of it when that setup is broke.
Right.
And I know that's something I have to work on, because I let stuff, I mean, if you look at my spreadsheet, I
Yeah.
let stuff go to zero way more than I should.
Instead of just like being like, oh, I got it wrong this time. Which
Yeah,
is
and
a
getting out at like
lesser
40% or whatever.
Yeah.
I just let it expire, and it sucks, but it happens. But I
So,
think my profits have outweighed my losses.
well, they have, looking at your record here, it seems like you've got the typical record of somebody who's a profitable trader. So just looking at it now, so you're 74% win rate from these, and these are the alerts that you put out into Sidekick. Not all your trades completely, right? It's just
Yeah,
it's
just
just
the
the
stuff I've
ones,
thrown
right?
in my channel. Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that you're taking that you want to share. And
Are
you
they
can
your
see,
more like higher confidence plays,
Yep.
or is just you pick like lesser dollar amount for how much the contract costs, or a little bit of both?
Little bit of both. So the stuff like I won't alert a scalp. I know Malcolm is great about scalping stuff,
uh,
but I don't alert that kind of stuff because by the time I'm looking to get out of it, people are just then getting the alert to get into it. And I don't want to do that to people. So I make sure, like in my chat, I always say, you know, I'm bidding on this or I'm looking at this and this is the price I want to get into it. That way they have hopefully a few minutes at least to look at that chart and see like what I'm looking at before
Yeah.
they decide if it's something they want to get in.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have to see it too.
Yeah. So I don't alert any of the scalps that I play. Like I'll play, I think today I've done SPY like 4 or 5 times. But if you look in my alert channel, there's not a single one alerted there because I don't
Right.
think it's
Yeah.
fair to people.
That's very good of you, because a lot of people just complain about these alert services where the thing moves too fast and they chase or whatever. So I think that's great that you're taking that into account, because it's pretty rare, and I think that comes from partly the fact you've been in so many services with Raging Bull that you've seen this and you know what works and what doesn't work for people that are learning from you. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I know a lot of
Yeah.
people don't have the ability to just sit at the computer like I do all day and sit here and
Yeah.
watch Discord constantly. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are looking to do this just to make a few extra bucks a month to maybe be able to go out and do something fun. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to make sure everybody can.
And you try to pick more affordable contracts, I feel like, too.
Yeah, we did that poll about doing the more expensive, and I think it was split 50-50. And I've alerted a couple expensive contracts, but not a whole lot.
Gotcha.
It looks like you do quite a bit of swing trading as well. Average days and trades on it is 11 days. So that's awesome for people trying to learn the strategy and follow along as well. It's pretty cool.
That's what I
Yeah.
prefer. I would
Yeah.
much rather swing trade than day trade. To me, I'm much more comfortable doing it.
Yep.
Granted,
Yep.
the market, what was it, October through the end of the year, kind of sucked for spring swing trading. And
Yep.
then lately it's been kind of rough too. So there have been some things that have been day trades that
Yeah.
I didn't really mean to be day trades.
Yeah, looking at your numbers, like this is fantastic. So, I was doing Warrior Trades course the other night, and he was basically saying that you want this profit to loss ratio to be at least 2-1. So it looks like you got 2.6 here for these trades. So that's textbook awesome, right? For a trading strategy. And then your losses are smaller than your average wins. Even if they were the same, you'd still make money because of your 74% win rate.
Yeah, I think if you scroll over, there should be something else up at the top, I thought.
Oh, really? Like up the top above this stuff? Or I see,
No.
like,
No,
It's
go
a-
to the bottom on the
Go
bar.
to the bottom and
scroll it.
scroll that bar over above the
That's the
journal and the
sidebar.
list.
Same idea,
Oh.
but along the bottom. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay, cool. I had no idea.
Oh,
what
Yeah.
that meant.
magic. Yay.
Oh, average trade profit,
He said, oh.
mission fees, account total. What's that all about? Is that just for your?
No, so
Good.
I trade multiple accounts. Like I'll
Yeah.
trade, I have an individual account and a joint taxable account that I trade in. I trade in my IRA, my Roth IRA, and my husband doesn't know it, but I trade in his IRA as well.
Yeah.
So I can't put a starting account value because, for instance, look at that CNSL. That I know for a fact is in my Roth IRA. But the one above it, the XLF debit, that was probably in one of the taxable accounts. So the starting account value I couldn't put in on the spreadsheet, but I don't think it really made that much of a difference because I do put like how many contracts I have on there. So
Yeah.
overall, like according to this spreadsheet, I've made almost 23,000.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you had 20 contracts of XLF. Actually, it's maybe not a good one. Let's just see an SL long stock. Is that in there? So that's a stock trade, or
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Consolidated Communications, which is actually a company that my husband used to work with.
ah,
I think, yeah, I bought 1,000 shares. I've sold, I think maybe 300 or 400 shares,
yeah,
and I still have, I think 700 shares because I know for a fact that Consolidated is still pushing to get that fiber optic out here in New England. So I think that that stock has still got a ways to go up.
interesting. So that's fundamental, basically, rather than technical. Okay, cool. Yeah, interesting.
Plus, we
Um,
might know some executives that,
I wasn't going to say that, but like,
but not that they would
yeah.
give us any insider information because they haven't.
No, that would be bad. So what's your strategy roughly? So I know you did the TTM squeeze stuff with Nate Bear. It's kind of where you learned that. Is that your primary driving force for taking like just the simple calls and puts? I know you've got other more complicated spreads and stuff in there, but what's kind of your your strategy for the underlying stock when you look for a trade?
So 80% of my trades are going to be the TPS, looking for that TTM squeeze. Like to buy. So I keep my charts very, very simple. I have the VWAP, an 8, and a 21 EMA. And then I think I have a 200 SMA on there. And ideally, kind of like Nate, I want to buy between the 8 and the 21 EMA. And I should be getting out if it breaks the 200 SMA. And that's where my rules don't really
Yeah.
get followed by me.
Yeah.
I prefer to start at the longer time frames. So I'm looking at like 195, maybe 130 or a 78-minute chart to see if there's any squeezes.
Yeah.
And then I kind of go down in time frames to see if there's anything else on the chart that alerts me.
Cool. And it looks like you're buying contracts a few months out. Yeah. a few
Yeah,
months,
I like to buy time,
Yeah, makes sense. Very cool.
especially in the markets nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say is the biggest challenge you've had trading? Is it following your stop loss or being patient, or what's your kind of
It's the emotions. Absolutely the emotions. I know they say not to hope for something, but I absolutely do. Oh, I hope this is going to get back on. Like if you look, there's a DraftKings should be on there somewhere.
let's see.
Probably bought that back
There we
in
go.
February sometime. Yeah. I'm still holding on to that and it's currently worth 2 cents
Oh no. Okay.
because I'm hoping that DraftKings, because I know DraftKings to me is a solid company with everything opening back up. You would think people are going to start betting again.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact I should have dropped this back in probably April sometime. I'm pulling up the chart now.
What expires this month?
Yeah, it expires the 21st. I'm not going to sell it because shoot, it's a $1.50 that it's worth right now. So it's not even worth it for me to sell that.
Yeah.
But I went small because it was a more expensive contract in that account that I bought it in.
Oh. Yeah. So on these trades, like, do you have a feel for like, do they ever like pull back after you enter, or is it, what's is there plenty of opportunity for people to buy in at the same or a lower price, you think?
Oh, I think there's absolutely a good chance people can get in lower than me. Yesterday, I think I alerted a Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I alerted Facebook saying I was bidding $1.75. Facebook ran up and it went up to like $2, but then it pulled back down before the close. And I think they could have got in like at $1.50 if they had kept their order open or, kept the chart open to try and get in. T-Mobile was another one from just yesterday that I think it went down to 330, whereas my entry was 350. And then both of them got closed out today.
All right.
I don't
Aren't
suggest
they like
follow me
100%
with
the
stocks.
Facebook?
Facebook, I closed out most of it at like 80 something. And then I closed out the other runners at 100. And T-Mobile, I closed out at, I think 15, 16%
That's awesome.
for an overnight hold. I'll take that all day.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice. So Marion, have you tried any of Michelle's trades? I haven't. I've been watching, but I haven't.
Yeah, I rode like 2 of them worthless with her, but I got in
Of
like
course.
wait, but I'm the same way with my risk. And I thought I was like, oh, I actually didn't want to tell her because I got in when she was already like 50% down. But that probably was the mistake right there.
Right.
But they were cheaper because I only like cheap stuff because I'm cheap. And
Me.
yeah, so it wasn't even that bad, but I've had way more. I have zero ability to like track my stuff, but I just know definitely I've played more stuff with her, especially when we're on live together and talk about it.
Yeah.
And when she started sharing charts more and I started understanding more how she plays it, I did really well. I like the more expensive ones because I'd rather just get one contract. We did a Facebook one a couple weeks ago and we bought it, I think, at 1,100 and sold it at 15 or 16. It was like $400 or $500, but it felt way less stressful.
Right.
I had more of a chance to look at the charts the way that I look at them. And I think if I were to guess, I would say I've maybe taken like 15 contracts with her. And I think only the 2 that I rode to worthless are the ones I didn't get out in profit.
You even closed out, I think we had done an Uber. And
Yeah.
I rode that to worthless. And you were able to profit on it because I was being greedy and didn't want to sell it at, I think, 10% because I wanted my 15 or 20 that I try and hit.
Yeah, I think I got like I got in a couple minutes after you. I think I closed it around like 18%. It was a little bit more than 15, a little bit less than 20. And because of my track record with options, I was like, this is green, like I'm out.
Yeah, I should have. When you told me you sold, I probably should have sold mine instead of letting
I know.
those go
Sorry.
to zero. But oh well.
Would you so most of these trades seem to be fairly straightforward in terms of just simple calls and puts. Do you think is your strategy overall okay for beginning option traders, or like I know you do a couple of more complicated things, but nothing too. Seems like it's quite low risk at least, and fairly high rewards. It's like, you know, the underlying stock, you know, price action seems to be well thought out, and then the options aren't like the next day or the next week or anything, so that puts the, you know, time in your favor a little bit. Seems like it'd be a decent strategy for people that are fairly new to options.
Yeah, I mean, I've just recently started alerting the spreads. I think
Yeah.
I've alerted maybe 1 or 2 iron condors,
Yeah.
but I prefer the straight buying the calls or buying the puts.
Yeah.
I don't even sell a whole lot of stuff that I alert, just because I myself wasn't able to do it for so long.
Right.
So
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
not 100% confident in my ability of doing it. And if
Right.
I'm not 100% confident, I don't want to risk somebody else's account as well as my own.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like for beginners too, it's really good because she, you know, will tell you what it is, the kind of idea. This is because an unusual options order flow, or this is because I see a TTM squeeze here.
Yeah.
And anybody who doesn't understand, who asks, you know, Michelle will either be like, do you want to do a TOS, you know, screen sharing live, how to use TOS. So there's nothing I think that she's playing that she's not able to explain to somebody who actually wants to know.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and it definitely seems like a better strategy compared to like crackhead day trading like Malcolm. Like, I love Malcolm's strategy, but like it's crazy compared to this. Like, it's so volatile. So, I think this is a good idea for people in the Discord to check out and look through and see if they want to take some of these trades. You've had quite a few people talking in the Miz chat, right? There's quite a few people that follow you, or we could always get more though to try and pick up this strategy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are, I don't know, I think I intimidate people and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why
so
either.
I think people are like afraid, maybe it's because of my mouth and I don't think and stuff just rolls out. I don't know what it is. But and to be honest, I'm more than happy to help anybody understand this stuff.
Yeah.
I think because I have to, and I think Marion's the same way, I have to sit there and write everything down in order for it to click in my head. Like I've got 3 notebooks in front of me right now, not to mention my trading screens that I've got up, because if I don't write it down, I know I'm going to mess it up. So I'm more than happy to like show people like my cheat sheets that I've got, or I think I sent out the trading log to 4 or 5 people today, just because it'll make it easier for them.
Yeah.
It also makes you a better teacher. I feel like people who need the extra help to understand something, or the extra time, or writing it down, when it's a little bit harder to learn something, I think it's easier to explain because you have to put in so much work to understand it yourself.
Yeah. I think, what is it the chat one? One of them I had to post a pin on spreads and what is a spread. And yeah, it's in the Ms. chat. There's a pin message about the different types of spreads and the max profit and the max loss and what you're shorting and what you're longing. So, but that came strictly from one of my cheat sheets that I keep right here at my desk.
So you're obviously pretty good at predicting the direction and the technicals of the charts. Why do you choose to play the options rather than the actual stock? Just curious. For the
Because
usual reasons.
I suck at stocks. I've learned that ever since Jason Bond.
But you
Even
don't,
on
'cause
large
you're-
cap? Yeah, even on large cap.
I don't do a lot of large cap. I mean, I have like my long-term shares in my IRA, like Apple and PayPal and I don't know, some of those type of things, Amazon, but I don't trade them. I think they're good companies. So I just buy them when the markets are red and they just sit there and I don't do anything with. It's kind of like the whole crypto thing. I just buy it because everybody else is. So I'm just going to buy it and keep it in there. But I don't do a lot of in and outs on stocks because I'm not comfortable with it. And I don't know what it is about it.
Interesting.
I'm not good at it.
It sounds like you kind of went straight to options. How long did you do any like actual stock trading for? Or did you just kind of learn the charts and stuff and then start doing the options?
No, I started off with Jason Bond and I probably gave him 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
And I was taking everything that he was alerting back 2016, 2017. And I know for a fact I had to carry over more than $3,000 in losses.
Yeah.
For my taxes. And I don't blame Jason at all because it was me.
Yeah.
I blame me not being able, because I was still working at the time, not being able to keep an eye on the chart. So I wasn't comfortable setting the stop losses and I don't know. And even now I shouldn't say never, 99% of the time, I will not put a hard stop loss in unless I know for a fact I'm leaving the house and I can't sit here and watch, because I've always been told that market makers hunt those stop losses and I'll take them out.
Yeah.
So I do more of a mental stop loss.
Yeah, me too. Seems like people are divided on that though. I was telling somebody yesterday who was claiming that absolutely have to put in a hard stop, otherwise the emotions will get 99% of people, like you'll just let it go that little bit lower because you know it's a mental stop loss and not a real one. But I was always taught the same thing, that you know you will get your stop losses taken out if you put in orders. So,
I mean, I've seen it. I feel the same way too. I don't use stops.
Yeah. I refuse to use them, and
especially
I've just
because so
recently,
many people use them at the same level. Oh, 5% stop loss, 10% stop loss, 10 cents, 5
or
cents,
whole numbers is another one, right? If it breaks $3,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
out. So.
That's why I started putting in like, what was it? Something I put in an order for 402 and somebody texts me or they sent me a DM and they're like, seriously, 402? I was like, yeah, because everybody else is going to put it in at 405. Yeah. So I want mine to sell first.
It's so true though. I'd rather get out of 404 than not get filled at 405 because there's 20,000 orders sitting there versus 404, a couple hundred.
Exactly.
You have to think like other people think, and other people want to take us out. So I'm not going to sit on a stop loss.
So that's something I've been trying. I need to get better though on doing like the
If I have a question, if you know that your biggest problem or like risk you need to work on is not getting out, not necessarily stopping out, but when you know it's going against you, if you were to tell yourself as someone like following your trades, what would you recommend? Like, okay, this is when it probably went wrong and it should just be cut.
So Nate always used the Bollinger Bands, and once it broke the lower Bollinger Band, get out.
Okay.
So I would suggest that. I don't even put the Bollinger Bands on because I know I'm not going to follow it, and I know I should. I'm just super stubborn that way.
Yeah.
But it's something I'm trying to get better on. Like the Apple contracts from, was it Kyle the other day? That he called those 126 calls. I actually did stop out of those and did not let them go worthless.
Good girl.
Yes.
That's always good.
It's all about habits. So step one, you stopped out of that.
Yep. Still taking it position by position. I'll get there one of these days.
So what's your number one tip for people that are starting out, either options or stocks? Just like, what's the one thing if you were to tell somebody, make sure you do such and such? What would it be?
Start small. I don't know
small,
for how long I was only doing one contract. And I know it's so frustrating. 10% might only be $5.
Right.
And that $5, maybe if you're with TD, 68 cents of that is getting ate up by commissions. But it adds up. And until your account gets bigger, then start adding contracts. Even now, I think some people I know in the Discord, there was one guy following one of Malcolm's chats or one of Malcolm's things. He did like 200 contracts and then he got upset that he lost.
Yeah, I would too.
So, in my head, I'm like sitting here, like raising my hands above my head. I know we all want quick profits and we want our accounts to grow super, super quick. But when I started trading, I started with one account and that account had $2,000 in it.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a long time to get up to where I'm doing 10, 15, 20 contracts. Yeah. And even now, it's very rare for me to take more than 20 or 25 contracts, even though that 20 contract may only be 5% of my account.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's all I've got to really ask you. Marion, do you have anything left to add, or Michelle, do you want to add anything?
I think we're good.
No, I'd just say if anybody has any questions, I'm here almost all day, every day. So you can always send me a message or
don't be intimidated. She's not scary.
I'm not scary.
Why anybody be scared of you? You're like the nicest, like chilled out person ever. I did what? Why
I'm super laid back.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I might curse, but it's nothing personal. I promise.
Yeah. That's only on the calls when you get mad, like on the live calls. It'll just be silent, and then you'll hear you just getting mad at something.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks very much for your time. That was really interesting, and I hope other people will watch this. People that are in the Discord that maybe want to check your channel out a bit more, or people that are watching this on YouTube might want to sign up for the free trial for Sidekick Traders. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to come and meet Michelle and just check out her trading strategy. And we have a whole bunch of other stuff, including Marion's penny stock trades, which we haven't talked much about on this call, but we're probably going to follow up with that with a call just, with Marion to go through her awesome strategy. But penny stocks are struggling so much at the moment, nobody really feels like talking about it, right? So that's probably best left for when things get a little bit less crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's coming because they're all in such deep oversold. On higher time frames, like they can't just go down forever, but that'll be another day.
Yeah,
it'll get there.
A new market season, whatever you want to call it, cycle. I guess you got to get used to it. So it's whatever.
Maybe we need to bring out our psychic traders.
Yes.
I really want to change the name to Psychic Traders now, but I don't know. It'd be confusing. So we should have thought about that, right?
I know.
Or is it just me the way I say it?
It's just the way you say it.
I think it's you.
Okay.
Sidekick. I think mine sounds like sidekick.
Sidekick. More emphasis on the D side.
Side.
All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for your time, and that was awesome. So I'll catch up with you guys in the Discord, and thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Thanks.